Hey everybody, God of War, Bandicoot Commando, yeah, God of War here, and welcome back to Bandicoot Commando Chains of Olympus. Yeah, welcome back everyone to God of War Chains of Olympus. So, last time, we beat the game. We fought Persephone and Kratos ended up killing her, and as a bonus, Kratos ended up imprisoning Atlas in his position where he will be forever forced to hold the world up. From there, though, as she was dying, all she could say is, "Your suffering will never end." And Atlas, meanwhile, makes similar remarks that Kratos will always be a servant to the Olympians and that they will never grant their promise to him. But in the end, Kratos returned the sun to its position, and after the credits were done rolling, he was pretty much falling to his death, exhausted from the whole adventure, but he saved at the last minute, and Athena and Helios approach, and as much as I wouldn't want them to confiscate and take away the gauntlet and the sun shield, that's pretty much what they did. They just took away the gauntlet and the sun shield, and although Helios does ask if they should help Kratos, Athena simply says that he'll live. And he pretty much is where the start of the first game is, near one of the entrances to Olympus, the hidden entrance at Athens. So today, I'm going to go over a few bonus content stuff. The challenges of Hades. Some of these you have to do if you want to get additional content. I'm not going to do them though. But let's see. Burn 50 soldiers with the Ifrit, which I believe with that one, you're very limited on magic, so you have to use it carefully. And also I think you're on a timer, so you got to be careful with it. Perfection. Kill 20 fire guards without being hit. That one could be a bit hard. And I would advise that you do not do the quick time executions on them. Only do it when you're on like maybe the last one. Because they can do their heavy attack when you're in the middle of doing it and it will count. So be sure to parry. Parry and will save you for that one. You are losing health rapidly. Yeah, as it says, just use the blades, use the gauntlet, do it as quickly as you can. Don't dilly-dally with the executions. Crunch time. Break all the objects before time runs out. This one was pretty difficult. You gotta use the gauntlet for this one mostly to destroy the tougher objects, but you gotta be quick with it, and you just gotta save the easily breakable objects with your blades. And then Epic Brawl. Kill all your enemies. This one I think is just like a continuous... You just keep going. You fight various enemies. There's no health, no magic. Just keep going until you die. Now, you get additional things though when you beat the game and when you beat the challenges. You'll at least get one of these costumes, and God mode is when you beat the game. Watch the in-game movies in order. Nope. Watch the Lost Levels movie. We'll watch that. Watch the making of Attica, which we don't really see. Credits, image galleries, and a bunch of other stuff. So, before I get to that, costumes. Do you want to start a... Okay, so costumes. By default, you have Kratos, but when you beat the game, and when you beat, the challenges of Hades and God mode, you get a few additional ones. So, Spud of War, Kratos is just dressed to look like a baked potato, and he uses knives. He uses, like, steak knives as his blades. It gives you some additional magic to use. Mick Kratos. Kratos just looks like a Scotland Highlander, and he uses oversized axes instead of his blades, and he's given additional strength. The Mime of War. Kratos he's a mime. Which means that when you're using the blades or the gauntlets, or at least the blades, he's not actually throwing out the blades, like he's miming it, but enemies are still taking hits from it. And I think the same does go to the gauntlet and his magic. You get more red orbs out of this one. Yeah, that's just all the costumes. Not really gonna go over that sort of thing. So, Lost Levels. It's just the movies, but Ready at Dawn Studios. I believe that is meant to be either the Hydra or... Uh-oh. Or it's meant to be, Cecilia? You know, the one creature that resides within the, Or it may not be the Hydra. Like, I'm trying to remember... And it's not Sicily. I don't know how you say that name, but I know there's a two-headed creature. Whatever the case is, obviously it didn't make it into the final game. Nice animations they made for it though, and you would have used its corpse to then get to the temple over there. Input, replay in progress. Some more levels that didn't make it in. Different design for the Minotaur enemies. That one was fully rendered, which means this cutscene was close. This area was close to being added in. Don't know who this guy is, but it would have been important. Just a look at how the climbing... Oh! This had to have been in the Caverns of Olympus, or at least a different design for it. That is some kind of Cyclops, which, with its design, it pays homage to the Talos from Jason and the Argonauts, I believe. I said Talos, but it was actually a Cyclops. What am I saying? Talos was the statue. This was Sinbad. That would have been really bloody had they kept that. It was an idea to bring back Centaur enemies, but nope. That was indeed the design for the Cyclops they would have went for. A little morbid that they had to use real eyes. Oh, a puzzle that was meant to be a sacrifice, and then the blood would flow and presumably fill up the, oh, not even fill up, it would summon the creature. No doubt that was meant to be the Basilisk, but there's multiple of them. Or maybe it wasn't meant to be a Basilisk, maybe it was a different creature, and then they decided to repurpose it into a Basilisk. Alright, let me look at this making of Attica. Pre-rendered cinematic. Wow! I just love it when how games do this with their rendering process and everything. Whenever there's certain things that are meant to be here or there, they just put like PNG image of like an effect. A little laggy it looks. Alright, using the ballista. Ow. So, instead of the Persian warriors, the work in progress one did use the Legionnaires instead. And so that was an idea, having some kind of, I forgot the name for it, but instead of the Cyclops busting in, yeah, they had a thing for bringing in more soldiers. You would have just moved on with that, but in the final, we get the Basilisk a little early. Well, it's a good thing they removed the enemies in the final version, otherwise it would have made it a little harder. Okay, yeah, just go through it because it wasn't animated yet. Oh! A war elephant and the Persian king. I know the Persians were known for, like, using, you know, elephants. Like some of the Greeks in Rome. Okay. That would have been interesting if they kept it, though. But I'm guessing they removed it because it was too difficult to... Yeah. It would have been too difficult to animate the elephant, and plus, it would have been a little cruel, to say at least, even though it's actual history. Knock that down and over. It seems the Basilisk was still in the game, in this work in progress version, but they tried to keep it hidden for the most part. That's it. Watch the Inside Rad movie. This is probably just Ready at Dawn, like going over how it feels making the game, or who knows, maybe it's something else. He's playing it on the Vita. They probably had fun working on it. All these people probably had fun working on the game. Well, it's not so much as working on the game, it was more like, you know, porting it to PS3. Ready at Dawn did that. Sony Santa Monica made the original PS2 version, while Ready at Dawn ported it to PS3. There's some other little bits on the desk and such, but it's hard to see because of the "I'm so sorry" is what that said. Because yeah, a lot of this is old cameras. From Katamari on the... We're probably going to see a few... There's Daxter, so they no doubtably were working on Daxter at the same time, or they've already made it by then. Run! It's an emergency! And that's it. I actually never seen this video. I thought... Oh. Gotta run back in and get my things. I've never seen that video. I thought it was gonna be going over like how the team feels about making the game, but that's pretty interesting. Image galleries, characters, environments, and I wouldn't necessarily call these outtakes, but you'll see. So, characters. the Basilisk, the Minotaur, the Ethrit. There are, oops. Oh, I can use L2 and R2 as well. I was gonna say, you can find, like, the full images of these on the God of War wiki, because in-game, it's cropped out by the outlining here of the frame. The Archer Legionnaires. Persephone. I have no idea what that thing is meant to be. It's probably an early concept of those big cat enemies, which, again, I don't remember what they were called. Designed for Charon. Cyclops. Back to Basilisk. Environments. I believe this is meant to be, probably on Sun Chariot. Yep, there's the Sun Temple. Tartarus. This must have been the underworld based on the towers there. Yep, this definitely had to be the underworld, and in the back it looks like there's something that's chained up and should not be released. A very interesting design for the Sun Temple, because it looks like it's a giant ship, and it has like a giant turbine on it. Another, where you ring the bell for Charon to come and ferry you over into the underworld. Attica. This leads up to the Grove of Elysium. Probably what's meant to be the underworld. Same with this one, really. This is probably meant to be the underworld. And outtakes. Like I said, these aren't really outtakes. They're more like unused concepts. This boar here, I don't fully remember its name, but it is either meant to be based on the boar that Hercules did for the 12 labors, the 13 labors, or it was another one. There's two different boars in mythology that get confused for one another. That, I forgot what those are called. I mean, it's got wings, though. I guess it was an early idea for a harpy, but it was like a mix of a cat as well. The war elephant that the Persians would have had. This must have been Demeter, based on the way it looks and all. Or it could have been an early idea for Persephone. I'm gonna assume this is meant to be Attica. And more of Attica and temples and whatnot. I don't know what this is. This was meant to be the Sun Temple somehow. I don't remember her. I think it's Arachnid. But yeah, the story of how a woman who was the best seamstress who claims she could beat Athena at sewing, and the whole story of how spiders came to be. Very disturbing. Well, that is it, and there's really nothing more I can talk about with its development and all of that. So, yeah, that'll do for this episode of God of War Chains of Olympus. Now, before I end it, let me mute the sound here. So, this is important because I need to state my case here. I'm going to take a small break from doing the main Let's Plays. Because long ago, when I made my video, I think I made my video announcing my return to doing, main Let's Plays, I, at that time, only had 4 games completed and practice. Well, yeah, I had, 4 games practiced and under my belt, and yeah, it was those first 4, Uncharted 3, Resistance 3, Festival of Blood, and Chains of Olympus here, so I need to practice for what will be the next 4. So I don't know how long it'll be until I get back into it, but I need some time to practice with the next 4 is all. And the next 4, they'll be on, one of them will be on PS1 actually, and then 2 of them are on PS3 and there's one on PS2. So I got to jump around with consoles here. But I will at least continue with side projects. I'll continue doing stuff with Rumble. I'll at least finish The Legend of Zelda, and once that's finished, I intend to also take a small break from doing the side projects, but I won't give up on them entirely. It's more of a I'm going to rest while I practice doing for the next main games, but I'll still do side ones when I get the time and such. If that makes any sense to you, but you'll see. You'll see what I mean. So, I hope you enjoyed the Chains of Olympus Let's Play. We're already like with the Greek saga of games, we're pretty much halfway there. We only got like 3 left to go through, and then hopefully, and I'm saying hopefully for a reason, hopefully I'll be able to get to the Norse saga before we. I just hope we'll get to the Norse saga before Kratos and everyone goes to Egypt or to Mesopotamia or even South American like I don't know where they're going next, but people are saying Egypt, so I hope I can make it to the Norse saga before we go to Egypt. And there are rumors that the trilogy, like 1, 2, and 3, will be remastered for PS5 and whatever. Personally, I don't think that's necessary, but hey, that's all I could say is just hey, if you want, sure, but I don't think it's fully necessary. But those are my thoughts though. So yeah, that is it. And I will see you guys later.